Hello, everybody.
Do the welcome. You never do the welcome.
Welcome to Experts About Nothing. Should I do that again? Not you.
That's kind
do
of
the welcome.
hilarious.
Oh my gosh. Welcome.
Audio Jungle.
All right, let's cut to the chase. We just went to Coachella.
Honestly, what a trip.
A trip to get there, a trip while we were there, and frankly, a trip still currently because we just took a red eye and we're recording this the night of a red eye after no sleep.
Yeah, that's the vibe. So let's get into it. Let's talk about it. Basically, background, the people that were there, us and the roomies. So me, Priya Prach, and Ash Rita. And Prashant.
Pitot Totage. Yes, we pulled off a birthday snafu because guess what? This not only was Coachella weekend, it was also Diksha's birthday weekend.
It was. I'm 26 now.
So we planned this fun little surprise. And honestly, let me give you some background on this surprise, first of all.
I'm
this is
excited.
so funny. Mind you, background to Coachella, we tried to go in 2020. So
yes.
we bought tickets for 2020.
Yeah.
And then
you know what happened.
You know the rest. Honestly, on whim for 2022.
We weren't even planning for this. It was just like Coachella tickets are releasing today. Should we just buy tickets?
Literally, It was like a 12-hour turnaround.
Yeah, and then last time we just bought the festival tickets. We didn't buy like the whole package or anything. And this time, honestly, we were so exhausted last time dealing with all the cancellations and like, you know what, if it gets canceled again, it'll be easier if we just did it all in one transaction. So we just bought it all at once.
Yeah.
Which is great. Highly recommend.
Yeah, like the full package. And then kind of just forgot about it. Like, it wasn't like even, like, we didn't forget about it.
We had monthly payments for it.
We had monthly payments, but it just felt so much more nonchalant this time for some reason. We should do this because we planned to do it before.
Yeah.
And then I was just like, every month I'd be like, oh crap, like we're literally going to Coachella. Like I keep forgetting about it. But it ended up matching up perfectly with Diksha's birthday. And so we bought our packages, in like September or something?
In like July.
Way early in the fall, no lineup release, super early. We had talked about, we were like, oh, it would be lit. Even you had talked about it.
I mentioned it, because he was like, music festivals aren't my thing. You can just do it with the girls, you know.
Yeah.
Which is very fine, very normal.
Very normal, but we were like playing around with the idea, but then it kind of was just like dead in the water. We're like, whatever. Probably not going to happen. It's going to be a girls' trip. Me and Prachi were having a conversation. We're like, we actually need to make this happen. Like, this is actually could be an iconic surprise. And then we talked to P, and he was down. But at this point, we're a couple months out from the festival. How are we going to get tickets? The whole thing. Like, we had already booked all of our stuff. So we're like, okay, we need to figure out the logistics. And literally the funniest thing is that Ushi's employee was like, in their company Slack, the literally day after we had finalized that we're definitely doing this, was like, oh, I'm selling my ticket. And then Ashi literally was like, sell me the ticket. I need the ticket. And he was like, okay, great. Sold the ticket. And then we had, honestly, like 15 slip-ups in the lead-up.
I know, and you guys kept saying that, but this was so over my head that there was no way I caught on any of them.
One time when we were walking back from our Dunkin' Tuesday excursions that we go on, we were looking for your missing packages for Coachella clothes.
Oh.
In all of those, like, different buildings. And I literally went, oh, if we find Prachi's jersey, we can give it to P.
I was like, oh yeah, maybe he wants another jersey.
But also, mind you, the jersey in question was this floral jersey that said like some ridiculous word on the back.
I thought it was the Dodgers jersey.
No, it wasn't the, good thing you thought that, but it wasn't the Dodgers jersey. It was this other Amazon jersey that she had bought. And I was like, why would P need this useless jersey? And I was like, oh my God, she knows.
I still don't think I would have even put that.
I don't know, but we were like freaking out every day. But we managed to keep you surprised till the end.
And basically, I was informed like 4 days before it happened. And then we all faced the biggest surprise at the airport.
Oh my God.
So this is a good lead-in to all the drama we had, honestly, getting to the music festival. 2 years ago, we booked our flight on Air Alaska. And that was all fine. Everything was fine, whatever. Mm-hmm. Then, of course, we had massive credit to Air Alaska that we had to use. We all, once again, booked on Air Alaska, purposely went on this flight. It's the day of our flight, so this is last Thursday, and Friday's when the music festival starts. Mm-hmm. And our flight's originally at 6:30 p.m. We call the Uber at 3:30. P is on the way, and then we get an alert saying it's delayed to 7:30. So we're like, okay, it's just an extra hour. Let's just go vibe at the airport. Everyone's already in motion. It'll be fine. Go to the airport. It's delayed 2 more times. We are now having a sit-down meal. We get a dinner voucher. We're going out of security, getting food, coming back into security. We run into a friend, like the whole thing. At this point, I've gone through the ringer of flight delays leading to cancellations actually a million times when I lived in Ohio. In my mind, I'm like, this is going south. Like, I can feel something is wrong here. One delay, okay. 2 delay, fine. 3?
Yeah, 3.
That means...
Yes.
Something funky's happening.
Context here was I was already in California because I flew out to see some family like a whole week ahead.
Yeah.
And the 1 hour delay, I was like, absolutely fine. My flight getting to California was also delayed an hour. And even 2 hours, I was like, okay, that's fine. But then the 3 hour, immediately, my cousin's husband was like, that flight is getting canceled. The moment I said it, I was like, oh, shoot.
But we thought, like, worst case, it'll get canceled. They'll put us on any other flight going to LA. We're about to board, okay? Miracle, okay? It's about 4 hours later now. And then the gate associate was like, the pilot isn't here yet. Just give him until 10:17 to be here. It was a very specific time, so I'm like, oh, okay.
Also, it was so weird that they just kept saying the pilot isn't here.
Yeah, the logic wasn't fully there.
Yeah.
So now it's 10 p.m. now. People are riding at the Air Alaska desk, and the line is so backed up. This is a fully packed flight. Honestly, a lot of people there were also flying to Coachella. So had the same kind of itinerary, I think, as most of us. Mm-hmm. Of course, flight gets fully canceled, like moments after this line starts forming. I am already on the phone with Air Alaska. Mm-hmm. Ashi and P are in line at the desk. And now we're like basically targeting the situation from 2 angles. And I'm like, no, we're going to get this figured out. We'll be there soon. Whatever. Then 3 hours at the airport later, we are actually on every other airline looking for flights to any surrounding Southern California city.
Yeah. So I found out that the flight was canceled on the way to SFO to board my flight from SF to LA. And I literally was like, crap, like, what do I do? Because I'm just going to have to be vibing in LA alone. Like, should I postpone my flight? Can I even postpone my flight? It was an hour until I had to board. So then literally my cousin was taking laps around SFO while I was like at the thing with the attendant, and I was like, please, my like friends, I don't have an accommodation, like, can you change my flight? Luckily my flight got pushed to the next morning, and then I just left the airport and went back to my cousin's place for the night.
But then our saga continued. We are at the airport now. We are moving locations at the airport, just making ourselves fully comfortable.
They had a full home in there.
Mm-hmm. We were on the phone with multiple Air Alaska associates, like 2 of them for over an hour each. They were honestly trying to help, but I think things were just moving so fast, and other people were also just like booking out all these flights that like they'd see a flight at one point and then it'd be gone. And then we are traveling in a group of 4, and we want to ideally travel together, or at least in groups of 2. Prachi ended up finding some United flights, and these flights were straight to Palm Springs, which is the airport for Coachella.
Yeah,
basically.
like that's very close to
it's like the 20 minutes from Indio. Then the solution that we decided upon was that we're going to split 2 and 2. So then basically not only did we split 2 and 2, these were actually 10-hour days of travel.
Yep.
And it was the next day. It was me and Prachi, and we both went to Denver. Then we had like an hour stopover there, and then we went to Palm Springs. So we were the first ones that were going to be there. Our total itinerary was like 8 hours or something, which was extremely exhausting because we're still at the airport right now, and it's like 1 a.m.
Yeah.
And then Ashi and P a story for another day. Then got put on.
This is my favorite part of the story.
This is hilarious. They were put on another flight, and their itinerary was longer. Theirs was 10 hours. They ended up going to Houston and then had a layover there for 5 hours. And then they went to Palm Springs and got there like 2 hours or so after me and Prachi. And it was so funny because P was talking to an attendant and was like, at first she was like, oh, there's 3 flights on this Denver itinerary. And then P was like, okay, I'm going to fly alone. The girls can fly together. So he was like giving them each, like we're all on a different itinerary because we all booked separately. So he's giving them each confirmation code and whatever. 2 of them are processed. 3rd ticket's gone.
Oh,
and
no.
Of course, me and Prachi go first. Otherwise, like me and P would have flown together and Prachi and Ashi would have flown together.
Yeah.
But anyway, then it was so
that
funny.
was the funniest part. I FaceTimed them at midnight to wish Diksha happy birthday while she was on the phone with United. Literally. She just pans the phone over to Diksha and she goes, she's with United. And I was like, okay, happy birthday to you. And then she just goes, so me and P are on a flight to Texas and Diksha and Prachi are going to Denver. And I literally was like, huh? Why are you and P on a flight to Texas? And the fact that Ashi is also the bougiest flyer on the planet. And the fact that she had a 5-hour layover in Texas made her burst into literal hysteric tears in the airport. And that was what I got on FaceTime. It was just her hysterical.
Honestly, it was a bad situation, but it would have been 10x worse if we were like each alone. So at least the fact that we're all handling it kind of together. Doubles. But it was so lucky that Prachi like found these United flights. At one point we were like, great, we're missing the entire first day of Coachella.
I was so depressed because day 1 is hairy, and I literally was like,
They were saying the first available flight to LA, not even Palm Springs, is going to land past midnight on the 16th.
That's what I was getting on the phone while we were driving back from SF to like my cousin's place. Yeah. Like you guys were like, we're not gonna get there until like midnight. The depression hit so hard.
It was like sinking.
I was sinking under the chair. And
it's
then,
just the fact that we had this planned for like so long. We've been wanting to go there for 3 years.
Yeah.
Of course, the weekend it happened. We're at the airport. Something like this had to happen.
We did everything right.
And it wasn't even weather. So then P thought of a great idea and was like, okay, we're literally getting a hotel room in Newark because we're not going to go all the way back to Manhattan and then drive all the way back in literally 3.5 hours. This is ridiculous. So he was like, we're going to get a fully expensed hotel. This is nuts. So then him and Prachi spend another hour at the counter trying to get a room. And so we end up getting rooms. We stay in New York at night. And then we all wake up and literally at 6 a.m. to go back to airport because Ashi and P's flight was also before mine and Prachi's flight.
They took off first, darling.
They took off first and then got there 3 hours after us. But anyway, that's when the journeys began, the individual journeys. We all eventually got to Palm Springs by 4 p.m., 6 p.m., and then Priya 7 p.m.
Which is the most hilarious part as I was in the state.
The only one that was in California.
And the only flight I could get that made sense to Palm Springs was 7 p.m. I was like, please pick me up once you guys have done absolutely everything and I will just jump in the car. Literally useless.
But we got there. Me and Prachi were hella productive. We got the passes. We got the rental car. We like figured out a bunch of things that honestly we didn't even plan on figuring it out. In like that 2 hours time span, went back, got groceries, like did this whole thing.
Yeah.
Picked everyone up. Then we finally went to Coachella.
Let's add another contingent to the story. So as we mentioned before, we bought the packages, which have a shuttle pass. And everyone was saying you need to have a shuttle to Coachella. The Uber situation's horrible. You cannot.
I forgot about this.
You cannot just bank on like Ubering there basically. And so we're like, great, we have this totally sorted out. We like get there, we think it says that the shuttles are running every 20 minutes and we didn't see anything that said like a cutoff time. And in my mind I'm like, people would want to leave Coachella at any point in time. Like maybe someone would want to leave at 9 p.m. or 10 p.m.
Like, people are constantly moving to and fro.
Back and forth. So I was not worried about like a shuttle not showing up. And then we finally get to the bus stop after getting ready. Like, it was around 10 p.m., I think.
Yeah.
And then these two men on golf carts who worked for the hotel, like, zoomed by. And then this guy, like, backs up. And he's like, hey, are you guys waiting for the shuttle? And I was like, yeah, we're waiting for the shuttle. And, like, do you know what time they're coming? Like, trying to get intel. And he's like, they're done running until 11 p.m. What? Like, I literally was like,
we were standing there like,
for the love of God. I cannot have anything else go wrong. But he was correct. He was like, they're not running until 11 p.m. when they start bringing people back. And I was like, okay, everyone, we need to Uber, which was the one thing we really were told not to do. Did not want to do.
Yeah. We called this Uber. The lady comes, and honestly, initial vibe.
Fire. I love a female Uber driver.
Yep. Her name was Sunshine. She was cool. Then she was like, oh, I've done this year after year. Okay. So we're like, okay, a good experienced driver. Love that. She knows her way around this festival. We're in the car and we're going. Mind you, I fully knock out for like 30 minutes because I'm so beat up from all the travel. In the middle, I wake up and of course we're still not there. And I'm like, still in the vehicle? How is this possible? I just wake up. She goes, do you trust me?
No, literally, guys, I was awake. She was, like, getting very frazzled as we got closer to the festival. And she's like, oh, like, I just dropped someone off here. Like, this road's closed off now. This is closed off now. And we're like, oh, like, I don't know.
We don't know. We don't know.
And then she just, like, takes this left turn, which clearly was not on the map. That was the directions. There is a cop car literally, like, coming forward. And she's like, do you guys trust me?
Within three and a half
seconds, she whips the car in like a full 360
movie. Like it was
in the middle of the road. Like we were like actually in the middle of the road, 2 lines of traffic.
It was like the theatrics were not even necessary. We were like,
I was like, honestly, it would be better if you just whipped it without saying, "Do you guys trust me?" Like, ma'am, met you 10 minutes ago. And then all of us like lurched to the left, fear of life, in addition to everything else going on.
20 minutes later, we were finally at the festival.
And once you get there,
I mean, you still need to walk 1 mile.
You need to walk a mile and a half. We're literally like walking. And then we like ask someone, because also it's pitch black dark. Yeah. We're not seeing this during the daytime.
Yeah.
And we're like, where is it? And they're like, another 30 minutes this way. And I was like, uh-huh. And then keep walking. And also it's freezing. Okay, everyone? Everyone's like, Coachella, it's 100 degrees.
Always bring a 6 p.m.
So cold. Luckily, we did all bring sweatshirts. Yeah. And we were like, fine. But, oh, baby. Not fun.
It was cold. We get there. We're inside. We have maybe 10 minutes before Harry's going to come on.
Yeah.
We try to get drinks. We can't because you need to get these passes IDs, at like 6 p.m.
Badges, yeah.
And so then we're like, okay, we're just here to vibe. We're just going to watch this and we're going to go home. That
was the vibe.
And frankly, I was so happy that we at least were able to do that because we did not think we would even be there 24 hours ago.
What hit different, I remember we like came in, already all this chaos had ensued. We heard the last 30 seconds of the Big Sean set. Me and Prachi ran to say, I was like, I hear Big Sean and I am running to his voice. I literally was like sprinting. It was just the adrenaline of it was like the first moment where I was like, wow, we're in here. We made it. The Harry set was phenomenal. I'm a huge fan, so I was like really hyped.
No, well, you were brushing over the Harry set. Priya was literally dancing alone.
I was literally 6 feet ahead, and I was like, I need to get closer.
Priya usually is like, oh, I'm good in the back where there's some space, some air. She's like, let's get closer. Literally every 2 songs, she's like,
I was
get
diving
5 steps closer.
Because it was so amazing. And he was an iconic performer, and we love to see it.
Yeah, it was a really good
performance. So it honestly ended up being a very fun night. The memes will stay with us forever.
Yeah, they really will.
I don't know, the journey will.
Yeah, that was day 1. After we had nights of sleep, the next day our morale was so much higher. Yeah. We had brunch, we're like making our way to the concert slowly. We have some time to vibe before. It's good energy. Yeah, I mean, I feel like second day we actually went earlier, so we went at 3. So we were all pretty exhausted by the end of that. That was the most exhausting day by far.
Oh my gosh. Let me tell you. As Diksha said, like, morale was so high. I think we were all just so grateful to even be there.
Yeah.
That we were even more hyped than I think we would have been if we had experienced all of day 1. We were just, like, lit. And it was so fun. It was burning hot, but, like, super fun. Got to see, a bunch of different performances. But we got there so early that by, like, 6 p.m., I was like, whoa, buddy. I still have 6 more hours of this.
I know.
And I started to truly disintegrate. My back gave out on me, like, literally in the middle of Megan Thee Stallion, the most tragic time.
Amazing, wow.
For my back to give out. I mean, still an iconic set, and I powered through, but, like, actually I was, like, unable to walk for a little while, but it was still an amazing day. People always warn you about Coachella. You're like, super long days, the weather, the desert, like, all of that. It's all true. All of those
Definitely
aspects.
Get a water backpack if
Get a water backpack. It somehow is, like, so worth it.
I think for a couple reasons. First, it's just so fun to be anywhere but home. Like, I feel like when you're at home for a concert or you're at home for a music festival and it's just closer to you, the magic isn't as exciting. But, like, when you have to fly somewhere and it's, like, Sunshine, California.
And it's such a unique, well, at least to us because we're in New York, just walking in, seeing the palm trees, the desert.
I haven't been to California since I was in first grade. So it's been, like, 20 years since I've been, which is crazy.
It just felt like we were in such a unique location. I don't know if it would hit the same if you're, like, from Cali and you see this shit all the time.
Yeah, I that's what I was thinking. I was like, I wonder if California people, like, find the same amount of hype, but they probably don't. But that was definitely one of the reasons why I think it was so fun and
it was
hype.
just beautiful. Like, you would look around, and I really liked the way that they designed the festival too. They had, like, art pieces in the middle,
Ferris wheel,
and all of the stages looked really cool too. Like, it was just,
they do everything so all out. Like, every single set is, like, a different stage set.
Yeah.
And I'm like, how are they doing this so fast? Because there's, like, zero time in between some of these sets, and they're just, like, breaking things down, setting things up so fast in between. But also, it's just the diversity and, like, caliber of performers there is
crazy.
Superstar.
It honestly is like, stressful, and we missed some people that we really wanted to see.
It was really tragic.
Because you are, like, racing from place to place, and the schedule sometimes screws you over, and you're like, damn, I can't see 2 people that I want to see. Every 5 minutes, I would just look around and be like, oh my God, this is crazy.
It's like the sunset. The whole thing is a true experience. I was, like, asking everyone on the trip, would you guys do it again? What's the vibe? I feel like if I were to go to a music festival a year, it would just be Coachella. I would just, like, go to Coachella, see all these amazing people, and then, like, that's it. I'm good with music festivals for the year, you know?
Yeah. I almost feel like it's better. Like, I would be more hyped to go again just because we know so much now. And you, like, learn through the experience. After Saturday, by Sunday, we were like, okay, we know where to stand near the stages. We know what time to arrive. We know what to bring and what to wear. Like,
we know how long it's going to take to get there.
Yeah. Like, you kind of get all of these things out of the way, but it took us... Unfortunately, we didn't get to experience it all day one, and then Friday, so it took us all of day 2 to kind of, like, figure it out.
Yeah. But in general, I think it's safer just to take the extra day and travel to California on Wednesday.
Yes.
And then just
or
be
earlier
there.
If you can.
Or earlier and just, like, vibe before.
Indio was, like, very cute.
Palm Springs, yeah.
Palm Springs, Desert, Indio, Coachella. All of the names.
Indian Wells.
Indian Wells. Every town. It was a very cute town. Like, I'm glad we got the mornings to do brunch and just, like, walk around. I really liked it. Like, I would want to stay there longer. Probably beforehand. So, here's another tip.
Yeah.
Because we were planning to do, like, our whole LA, like, relaxing portion of the vacation post-Coachella. Frankly, I think all of us were like, we wish we pivoted that plan and did the relaxing portion before. Because
the hype for the music festival is going to be there regardless. Like, that excitement is going to be present regardless when you go. Yeah. It's just, are you going to be excited on the flight immediately there, or are you going to be excited 2 days before?
And, like, you kind of are just, like, revving yourselves up, but you also get to have, like, kind of, like, a recharging time versus getting off a flight and then having to immediately run to a festival. And post the festival,
that level of exhaustion is a different type of exhaustion.
On every single time we got on a shuttle back home, all of us passed out. Immediate. Like, it was like 30 seconds, everyone's like... Pfft.
And it's also like we're dealing with the time difference. And it's like, oh my gosh.
There is, if you are asthmatic or veering towards asthmatic, literally bring your albuterol.
And bring a double. Like, bring another one.
Bring a double. We heard the word albuterol 55 million times. Yeah. Because we were with 2.5 asthmatics. And, yeah, like, even myself, I'm still struggling with the post effects of the sand because... I didn't feel it that much in the festival, but like the day after, I was like, "Whoa!"
You feel
everything's
it at
so
the
dry.
end of the day.
Yeah,
and like it's like the more you drink water, you can feel it's still not helping, and that's when you know it's like really in your windpipe.
My like voice was hoarse, and like everything just felt so dry, and I was like, "Whoa!" I did not even realize this was happening to me while I was there. But yeah, try to relax before the festival, because the minute the festival ended, all I was dreaming of was my bed. Like, I was like...
me too.
I just want to be horizontal on my bed.
And it was sad. As we were walking around LA Monday and Tuesday, I was like, wow, I love this place. And I could really see myself wanting to explore more here.
Yeah.
But I'm so beat up.
It was so tiring.
I can only think about going home right now. It's so interesting when we're talking about it. Usually when I go to another city, that's not like Virginia. That's not like home. Usually 3 days in, I'm like, okay, I'm ready to go. I've seen everything I need to see here. Time to go back to the city.
It doesn't give you like an exciting, like a lasting feeling.
Yeah, but... when we were in LA, I was like, oh my God, I'm like sad. I'm actually sad to leave.
Yeah.
Because it's such a cool place. And that was my first time being in LA too.
Yeah, no, I agree. I really liked, honestly, I think even the LA portion of the trip was kind of iconic, given
it was
that
great. I loved it.
We were so exhausted. The drive from Indio to LA took
Shout
twice.
out Parache. She did it to us.
Do not even do it to us. She did. Like, she literally drove the entire way, and we were passed out in the back. Literally, we were in a cycle where we would pass out, wake up, eat a couple Doritos, pass back out, wake up,
eat some
Oreos, pass out,
run it back. Yeah.
And Prachi and Prashant were at the front just vibing in traffic.
Traffic for actually 4 to 5 hours. But it was an iconic trip. Amazing. And I feel like we brushed over performances, so like let's talk about those
let's talk about them.
So Friday we only went to Harry. That was the only one we could really catch.
Guys.
But I was depressed the next day when I heard Justin Bieber, who I am literally the biggest Justin Bieber fan. I cannot believe he played Peaches.
I know. And we literally missed it by like 15 minutes. If literally Sunshine didn't say, do you trust me? And whipped it anyway. Whipped it into God knows what lane of what road. Maybe we would have seen Peaches live.
I can't. That would have made my entire life. I also like... That was the first day. Who else did we miss the first day?
Oh my God. I missed Baby Keem, who I was super excited. Really Lil Baby.
That. Oh, yeah. P was so sad about that
It was so many good artists the first day, and we missed literally all of them except Harry. But Harry brought out Shania Twain. That did it to me, because that took me back to being 6 years old. Literally so hyped for that.
I'm glad we at least made that, because...
I would have actually
missed the headliner.
I would have had to really hype myself up for the rest of it, because I think that would have annihilated me.
Yeah.
Harry was just definitely the person I was most hyped to see, so I would have been devastated. So I'm really grateful we got to see him. Day 2, we saw
Meg, we saw Flume, we saw...
I saw Brockhampton. And we saw Giveon, which was amazing.
Yeah.
Giveon's set was so good. And oh my God, I feel like all my favorite sets were the sunset sets.
Those are the vibes are amazing.
The vibes were just so good that I was like, wow, I am very hype.
We saw someone else also on that day. Oh, that's when we saw 21 Savage.
21, which was honestly also an iconic set.
Literally ridiculous. He brought Post Malone out when he didn't even sing his own song.
Post Malone didn't sing a single word. He just came out and they played... Okay, guys, they literally played Rockstar, just the chorus, 55 times.
And then we were like, mind you, 21 was busted through his songs the whole time.
He was speeding through every single song, and then they just played Rockstar over and over and over again. And he would just like rap the chorus. And we were like, okay, we love the song Rockstar. And then we're like, can we move on?
I literally was like, this is a tech mishap. Like,
I know, I was like, is this on loop? And I think it was literally because Post Malone took too long to get on stage.
Yeah.
And then he came on stage.
Still didn't sing his song.
He was just like swaying from side to side of the stage, and we're like, okay, time to hear the same chorus 55 more times.
Then they played it again from the top, Rockstar.
Rockstar. And then, out of nowhere, he took a guitar, smashed it into smithereens.
And that was the end. That was the end of Post Malone.
Okay, Post Malone, thank you so much.
Oh, there was someone, oh yeah, like, Me and P watched like one or two Billy songs from far when we were waiting for funnel cake. So good.
Oh, yeah.
And that was fun, but I'm not a huge, like, committed Billy fan.
Yeah. I am sad, though. I honestly really like Billy, and I was like, dang, the Billy and the 21 set are, like, at the same time.
I don't know why they did that.
And we just ended up going for the 21 set. But she brought out Khalid.
Literally, let's not even talk about me missing every artist
we
love.
Missed Khalid twice.
We missed Khalid. It was with Disclosure.
We chose Flume over Disclosure, and then we missed Khalid.
And we chose 21 over Billy.
And we missed him again. And we're like, wow.
I was shocked. I was like, not me missing one of my favorite artists, not once but twice.
I know,
at the same festival
day.
On the same day.
It was actually pretty tragic. We just made some incorrect choices.
I only saw the last 30 seconds of Chelsea Cutler, which is so upsetting because that bus took so long. I was like depressed for a good 15, and I was like, okay, I need to get it together because we have the whole day ahead of us.
I know. We ran. She also was on the farthest stage
literally
from the entrance. So we were like sprinting.
Literally, I started sweating as we were running through there. We had zero water yet. We made actually the last 30 seconds, vibed, and she was like, thank you, Coachella.
I was okay, we're done with her set.
Usher and Proj didn't even arrive.
I know. We were like, meet us by the water. Oh my gosh.
But I guess just another reason to see all these people again.
Yeah, and just honestly, if you really care about an artist, show up way early.
Yeah. So that was Saturday. It was a great day, nonetheless. I think.
Oh my gosh! Also, shout out to the like drink tent area.
Oh, they're so fast. They were organized.
So fast, and also I loved how you could just kind of be like vibing, but you were near the stages. Like there's
they
a different
them really well.
Mm-hmm. There were different tents near like each of the stages, and that was also some of my most favorite time, like, in the festival. There was more seating, some shade, but you could still, like, listen to...
And see some of the performances.
Yeah, the performances.
But yeah, that was Saturday. I think Meg's performance took it home for me on Saturday. I've never seen her live. So
it was amazing.
I can't believe she's so
and we had, like, good... placement for that
we were there pretty close to the front because Flume was right before her and Miyashi and P were already there, so we were standing in a good spot to begin with. But super hype, would see her separately completely again.
Oh, 100%.
So good.
So good. And then Sunday, we rolled... Okay, Saturday, though, I think we were all the most annihilated by the end of the day.
Because we were there from 3 to 1 a.m.
Yeah, it was a lot. My legs and back were about to fall off my body. So then we rolled up a little later on Sunday. We saw Vince Staples, which was great. That was so fun. Again, with the afternoon sets.
We showed up at like 5:30ish for that. 5:30, 5:45.
Great vibes. And then we saw the one and only Carol G.
I was so stunned at how good it was.
That was so good.
Actually tied with Megan for me. The vibes there were amazing. We were in like one of the beer garden tented areas. We were just far enough to see the entire stage, had so much space, had like it was like basically like a picnic area.
Yeah.
Had like the drinks, we had some snacks, such a good vibe, and her set was just amazing.
Her set was iconic because she played so many songs, of course so many of her own songs, but brought so many people out and let them play their own songs.
She brought Becky G out, then she brought Tiesto out. Who else?
But amazing. She also just played a lot of like iconic Latino songs.
Yeah, she played Hips Don't Lie.
Yeah.
She also did Despacito.
Mi gente. Oh my gosh.
She was playing bops because she was dedicating it to all these Latino artists.
Yeah.
But it was amazing.
It was actually amazing.
I don't think anyone saw that coming. And I like followed her on Instagram today or yesterday or something. And she just made a post. It was in Spanish, so I didn't understand the full thing. But she was like, this was like 6 months of prep.
Aww. You could tell
the
transitions, the choreography, like the song choices.
It was not an easy performance.
It was such a well done performance. Yeah. I literally think that, it was like tied with Harry and Meghan for me for like best performance, but it was also just like very unexpected. We were planning to see Karol G, but I was like, oh, it's gonna be great. But then she like came out,
but it was
like
phenomenal.
a headliner. Like it was like a headline-worthy set.
Yes.
Wow, we had so much fun during that one.
Mm-hmm. And then it was Doja.
Doja, which was iconic, and she brought back the Mexican pizza during the set. And we heard it live. And then we saw Swedish House.
Swedish
Fish. And
Swedish and The Weeknd. And The Weeknd was phenomenal. Kind of crazy because his voice is almost even better in person. In fact, it is better in person. The fact that he can sing like that for that long is amazing. He was playing all his old jams, which I loved. I love those more, honestly, than the newer music. Maybe a hot take. But yeah, it was so fun. But we didn't stay fully till the end of Weekend just because we were all pretty beat up also by that
Very busted, yeah.
And this was also the farthest stage, so we wanted to get up in the bus line. But literally, what an iconic weekend, and I would run this back annually. I want to be 35 and still going to Coachella.
Honestly, if we could just keep leveling up the experiences, Revolve.
Yes.
If
Revolve,
you're listening,
sponsor us.
would love a Revolve Fest invitation. Would love it. Okay, I have a good favorites for us to do.
Oh my god, okay, what's the favorite?
Favorite joke that came out of the trip.
We had,
and you have to say the joke and then explain the context beyond behind the joke. I know which one you're going to do, so I'll do the other one.
What? Oh my god.
And by joke, we literally just mean
These are just
Ashi saying dumb shit.
Yep, she has been on a roll literally for the last 5 days.
She's been a hired comedian.
Comedic genius.
Every word that comes out of her mouth is ridiculous and ridiculous
hilarious.
only.
Literally laugh out loud funny. I would say, okay, wait. Actually, I don't think that's my favorite.
That's crazy. Then it's going to be mine. What's your favorite?
Okay, I can't lie. That was my favorite, probably.
It would make no sense if that wasn't your favorite.
Because I was cracking up so aggressively every time it was said.
And you also kept verbatim saying, this is my favorite joke.
Okay. Now, let's just tell them what the joke is.
Okay, yeah, we got to build up.
So, basically, Prachi was wearing, one of her outfits was this Dodgers jersey, okay? And fire fit, she looked great, stunting. And it was like a Dodgers jersey, and then she had like orange Patagonia shorts. At some point, like as we said, it gets colder in the desert at night, so everyone's like putting their sweatshirts on. So Prachi puts her crew neck, whatever, on top of her Dodgers jersey.
It actually is not even going to be funny if we say it. It doesn't make any sense.
When you tell someone this, it makes no sense. You just have to. I wasn't even there when this happened, but it was so funny. So then, basically, I really wanted funnel cake. So me and P were in line to get this funnel cake. And Prachi, Priya, and Ashi were just waiting near the food stands, just sitting on the ground, vibing. Prachi had, like, her hands on her hips and is, like, turned the other way for 2 seconds. And Priya and Ashi are on the ground. And Ashi just looks up in her delirium. Okay, and this is Saturday night, so when everyone was going nuts by the end of it, and just sees Prachi's Dodgers.
Oh my god.
Sticking out of her sweatshirt.
It's the flaps. It's the flaps. Okay,
yeah.
So imagine like a sweatshirt and like a longer jersey underneath. And you know how like the flaps will be peeking out?
Have a U shape in the back.
And then the U flap at the back. And so it literally was just that. She's vibing, keeping to her own, like literally
just
doing nothing.
Around, taking it in.
And then Ashi is on the ground. She starts cracking up, like literally like in hysterics. And she just goes, Prachi, don't do it to him. Like literally, she said it like 15 times. She would just literally be like, Prachi, don't do it to us. Don't do it to us, Prachi. Don't do it to us. And literally, we're both so confused, and she is dying of laughter, and she's literally just saying, don't do it to us in relation to the flaps of the Dodgers jersey.
And then the rest of the weekend. So this was like Saturday. So all day Sunday, all day Monday, and all day Tuesday. She's just been like, Prachi, don't do it to us. Like she's actually doing nothing.
It's like she's trying to do literally absolutely nothing, and she'll just be standing there. Like she'll like lift up her glass.
Be looking at her phone. Like anything.
And it'll be like, Prachi, don't do it to us. Don't do it to us. And then we all started saying it, and it is so funny. And honestly, I don't think anyone else will find it.
And now when we enter a room, we just say, Parache, don't do it to us, even if she's not there.
I know.
But that was iconic, and I don't think anyone's going to understand the comedy in this except us idiots. But
my favorite joke. This actually is deranged, and it comes from the one and only Dickie Shaw sitting across from me. So Saturday morning, we like tried to go to this brunch place that was pretty popular, and it's in this like outdoor like mall. Mm-hmm. Can't get into the brunch place. We're like walking around trying to pivot, like find the next move. And everyone's just like kind of silent, like not like
no, we're just walking.
We're just walking, place. Like it's not like a bad vibe. We're just like walking. And then Diksha
someone was saying insect something, and then
Diksha out of nowhere. I did not hear the context of what triggered this.
Saying insects, bugs, whatever.
Alleged, okay? And she puts her hand very tenderly on P's arm and just goes, P, do you like insects? Or no, she goes, hey P, do you like insects? And literally, P looks so disgusted. He just turns to her and he's like, what? No? And all of us were like,
mind you, I did not think anyone was paying attention to
all of us turned around and were like, hey P, do you like bugs? Like literally, what? Why did you ask that? Like, it was just the most
I was just checking in, trying to make conversation.
And she literally was like, I was just trying to make small talk. Just being like,
because
hey,
it was very
do you
quiet.
like insects and bugs? Like, what? And yeah, then the rest of the trip, we also just kept going, hey P, do you like bugs? Do you like insects? Oh my gosh.
I can't. Honestly, I've never laughed so much in one weekend. I'm pretty exhausted from that too.
I know. It was one thing after the other.
Coachella.
I didn't see any celebrities though, and for that I am pissed and must go back.
I know, they were all at Revolve Festival, which God knows where it was. Could have been in a tent next to Coachella.
Which is why Revolve sponsor the experts.
Me.
Literally. Okay.
And on that note,
sand still in the lungs. Bye.
Bye guys. See you next week.